What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the BurlyFishing podcast. We've got a very exciting episode for you today. We're super pumped to welcome my brother from another mother, allegedly, also a Midwesterner, also a YouTube fisherman, also an amazing bank angler, and a guy that paints baits like you wouldn't believe. We got DEBO's Fishing, aka Devin Christian, on the podcast today. DEBO, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, guys. Yeah, I mean, I like your beard. Beard game's strong. Glasses selection is good. That family discount helps. So
it really does. It really does. It's been paying off for years. So, hey, man, I am super excited to have you on today. We've got a ton of fun back and forth banter, a lot of questions for you, super difficult, like out of left field questions that, I think we're going to create some riffs on YouTube. I don't know. It's gonna be
usually
dicey,
never happens.
So. No, never. Nobody has ever fought on YouTube. All right, so we're gonna have some fun today. But hey, guys, you know the drill. If you like the content, if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. You can subscribe to the podcast anywhere you find it. Drop us a 5-star review. Drop us a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about next. What cool people you want us to try and talk to, and like maybe they'll be as cool as DEBO and like actually respond to our messages, which is. Thank you. Phenomenal. And then we can have more fun banter like this. You can follow us Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. It's at BurlyFishing. So yeah, let's get into this chat today, Paul. What do you say?
Dude, we always start it the same way. We're doing the Q of the D, the question of the day. This one, again, easy, softball. What video game makes you feel like you are in middle school again? Whether you're playing it or either you're just thinking about it, or whether maybe Chaws brings it up before the phone call and you go on a tirade. Whatever it happens to be.
I'd have to say Street Fighter was probably my favorite. Super Nintendo. I mean,
hell yes.
That or Battletoads. That was a big one too.
You would go
Battletoads?
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
wow. That was a classic.
That's like someone saying Star Fox for 64 or something. That is a...
Yeah, because console specific, what console did you play Battletoads on? Because there was like remakes of it, right?
Super. Yeah, there was Battletoads versus Double Dragon. That one was awesome.
Double Drugen?
Double Drugen.
Double Drugen is...
See, I don't know how old you guys are. I'm probably... Because I don't think I was in middle school when N64 came out. I graduated in 2002.
You gotta spy only a couple years. It's real close.
Okay, so it would have been close.
I was 06.
My favorite game of all time, if we're going that way, GoldenEye, N64 for sure.
Unquestioned. Not close.
That was on the list.
Not close.
Was on the list.
You
would Super Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. I would still take.
I would agree because like you were in it. That was like you had just enough freedom to stay up like way past midnight, and you could get rowdy, and that meant playing like drinking soda, eating Cheez-Its.
Yep.
And then beating up your friends when you got blown away by a clob. Like
for sure. Surge combos and all-nighters on GoldenEye.
Yeah. Surge.
Chat level here. Level up. Best in the chat. Oregon Trail.
from you have died of dysentery.
Yeah, you've died of dysentery or a snake bite. That was the hunting on that back in the day. I remember we had like one computer for, I don't know, because I grew up in a small school. So it was like one computer for every 5 classrooms or whatever. Like if you got the lucky chance to hit out Oregon Trail and actually do the hunting part, oh man.
You camp out.
Those graphics.
I love it. Yo, Paul, what was yours? What was your game?
What are you asking me or Chaz? I don't even hear what you said. Me?
Chaz says Spyro, by the way, everybody. Spyro for PlayStation 1.
Wow.
That's Chaz's play.
And Counter-Strike, yeah. Okay, Unreal Tournament was incredible.
Really?
You just said Counter-Strike. So I had to say Unreal Tournament because the weapons were unbelievable, and it was more about like you actually playing the stuff than like it wasn't realistic. It didn't need to be. It was just awesome the way it was. And
hyper unrealistic.
Yeah, it was the best. Like the best was you could just be a skeleton, like a glowing skeleton. So Unreal Tournament was
get it.
You call it Chaz. I will say though, Zelda, Ocarina of Time. I can play that. I can legit. Majora's Mask blew me away. But the thing about Ocarina of Time is you could like I got so good at it that it was like I would play it just to see if I could beat it during a school week within 3 days.
Yeah.
getting the homework done, playing sports, come home,
you
2
were
hours,
speed running before it was a thing.
I was like, dude, can I get to Goron Mountain in a day and a half? All right, I'm on pace. I'm on pace.
Yeah. Sorry, DEBO. This is a video game podcast. I don't
No,
know.
this is awesome. I'm texting my wife because my dog is up there chewing on his bone. So you'll probably hear me talk, and then you hear.
Good.
So I'm texting her
Good.
right now. Like, can you take the bone away from the dog?
Oh, man, bring the
Just
dough
let
in.
it roll, man. Bring the dog in. My dog comes in here once in a while.
So only one person brought this up in chat, but I'm gonna throw it out there. I actually, because one we talked about before the show was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Oh,
That was
so
another good one. Yeah,
I spent so many hours playing all the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games. I had every single one. I 100%ed every single one.
Yep.
I spent
That was another
countless hours on them. But another one that came up in chat, I gotta throw out, and it's kind of niche, but it was like a big game on the N64. It was Banjo-Kazooie, and it's like one of the original platformers that, for whatever reason, gives me the most nostalgia out of any game there is.
Star Wars episode 2 or episode 1 Pod Racer.
The Pod Racer game.
Oh my god. It was like one of those things where it was like when you couldn't beat a level, you had to like continue on. You had to restart.
Oh my gosh. All right, we're gonna talk about like fishing stuff.
That was good. We were
Warm
talking
up.
about this earlier.
Warm
We're
up.
gonna do a whole episode just on video games now. So if you want to come back for that, we
I'm
probably
down. I'm a video game nerd I still got my old Nintendo. I sold my Super, but I had like the Sega Super.
Dude,
Yeah.
Sonic 3D pinball.
Sonic
So
3D.
dumb. All right. We got
Anyway,
Whole nother episode. You got
yeah, whole other episode. We'll bring you back for that one. Period. We call it the show meet. This is the main course, if you will. My question is, where the heck did DEBO come from? Like, where does the name DEBO come from?
the name, like I don't remember the exact time when it started, but I used to train MMA, jiu-jitsu, and in our gym, for some reason, somebody started it. I don't know if I schooled somebody and it was like, hey, give me your bike punk. I honestly don't know where it started, but
You like gave.
Yeah, that's been like 2004, and
Wow.
it's stuck ever since. So everybody calls me DEBO.
That is, dude. The best part is like you have this vibe of being like a very nice, genuine dude, and I feel like DEBO.
I used to just punch people's faces in.
DEBO's neither of those things at all.
Yeah, well, most of the guys you
Alter
meet
ego.
MMA, like most of the guys you meet are super cool and humble. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I've done seminars with like some top level black belts, and you'd never know. Like, they just look like ordinary dudes, but
Yep.
you know, you get on the mats with them, and the mat strength is just ridiculous. As you guys know, you were telling me you guys wrestled. You know, hip strength and balance, and being ahead of your opponent is huge. But I mean, you get the guys that are complete jerks and cocky. So yeah, goes
You're
with
the good
train.
DEBO. You're like the angel on DEBO's
Yeah.
shoulder that doesn't really get any play.
Yeah, I'm the good side of DEBO.
I love that. Yeah, I have a funny story though. I always thought like you were supposed to be scared of like all the big wrestlers. One of my wrestling coaches was my math teacher,
Mhm.
and he was probably 25 pounds lighter than me, and he whooped me every single time we sparred. Every single time on my best day, he would have whooped me. And that dude
Sure.
looked like he manufactured calculators. I was not scared of him at all. And that dude straight up
Wrecked you.
PWN apostrophe D me all the time. It was not close.
I mean, I think it's that's the situation. Just never underestimate your opponent.
Absolutely.
You don't
100%.
know.
Never.
Everybody would be like, "Oh, look at that loser! I'm gonna just trash him," and then they get wrecked. Come just sulking off the mat, and you'd be like, "Dude, why'd you go in like that? Overly confident for no reason."
I love
It's
it.
always the case.
So this is the question we have to ask everybody. What and you've already given some of your illustrious background, right? That is not related to fishing whatsoever. How did not even the content creation side of things get into play? Like how does fishing come into play?
So I grew up fishing. I mean, my old man had me out on the boat probably when I was like 5, I would say. So he was a huge angler, fished all the time. And then kind of once I got into, I would say like junior or sophomore year, freshman year, high school, I wasn't fishing as much. Like we had buddies that had farm ponds, like their grandpa had, thousands of acres with cattle and stuff, growing up in the Midwest, and he had tons of ponds. So we'd go out there, and camp and stuff. But then as I got into college and stuff, like I dropped it. I fished maybe a handful of times a year down at the river and stuff. Once I got through college, everything was MMA. I mean, we were doing 2, sometimes 3 a days, going to fights, traveling to fights, coaching, cornering people. Like, it ate up everything. And I was just, I thought it was the goal was for my coach, mentor. He was actually my boss at my work. That's how I met him. Similar to what you were talking about. I'm 6'1". I think I was like 200 then, like pretty stout. I was lifting a lot. And he's like 5'5", 5'6", and I'm like, man, I'm gonna roll this guy. Shoo, man. He put me on my back. Like, he hit me with a hip toss, put me on my back, and then like proceeded to use me as a dummy. And I thought after about 30 seconds, I might actually pass away at his place.
Rip.
Straight pretzeled him. Straight pretzeled him. He's
Oh,
like,
man.
"Dude, the longer they are, the easier they are to fold up. Let's go."
Dude, that's what it was. Talk about humble
Bigger
sauce. Like,
suitcase, bro.
Bigger suitcase.
yeah, I'm lanky, and yeah, he was a ball of power. But he ended up becoming my mentor, and going through all that, and then I got hurt a couple times along the way, and then finally got hurt really bad in my neck. And so it was a doctor's visit and MRIs, and finally it was like, do I really want to be doing this? I had my first daughter. I've got 2 daughters now, and I was like, nope. So then fishing kind of came back into play. I'm like, well, I'm old and crippled now. I can fish again. So it was like, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. Got back into it.
Wow. Furthermore, we are the same person because I too have 2 daughters.
Bro, I feel like
How old are your girls?
This, like,
I know that. We talk about that every family reunion, remember?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Mine are 6 and 9.
6 and 9. So mine are 5 and 7.
Okay.
Man, literally same person.
I could not be further from you guys. I'm like short, pale. My facial hair is all see-through. Like, I have one son, and it's like guaranteed that my second one's gonna be a boy. There's no getting around it. We have like 19 children in my family. There's one girl, and it's like this. It's from like a step. It's not even direct relation.
We have cool chairs. You have a folding chair.
I sit on a pallet.
From WWF.
Oh,
Yo, this is getting weird.
Too.
I'm not really sure what to do.
Alternate universe stuff going on right now, guys.
Oh, I was making I was making a joke that you guys were each other's bizarros, but like that doesn't work anymore because you're too similar. Like, you have to have at least one thing that's different to be a bizarro. Like, this is a challenge.
Well, he's like the younger fit version of me. I'm fat with the old man body now.
Just
what they call it, dad bod, but that's in. So I mean,
it's in, man. Yeah, I'm out. You're in. You did it right.
So
old news.
My next one is, we kind of talked about it, like obviously grew up fishing. Like, where does content creation come on the scene? Because that is, Jeff and I have talked about this a ton. It's like fishing can be a side thing that you do that's enjoyable. Content creation, it can be fun. It's 100% a second job. Like, it requires the amount of time, energy, and then you just like, you start realizing like, okay, like money, and then it's like, oh, now I'm going to like legit commit to running this like a mini business. I'm going to run this like once a week. I'm going to post, or 2 times or 3 times a week. I'm going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and grow the channel and blah, blah, blah. Like, how do you go from being casual fisherman to content creator to like I'm going to say part-time, but it feels like full-time all the time. Like, how do you get there?
Full-time, part-time.
Yeah, it's part-time, full-time on the nights and weekends. Yeah, it's a weird story. Like, I'm kind of a weird outlier, I think, because like I was completely against all social media. Like, I had MySpace back in the day, and then it was just such an awful experience. I was like, so you're telling me you have to pick like your top friends, and there was always fights over it, and like I despise any sort of
I remember
fights.
that.
Like, oh, dude. I hate drama. I hate it. So I got rid of it, and I was like, I vowed never to get on social media again. So I didn't actually even have I never had a Facebook, like no sort of social footprint until I started this. And I had a couple buddies who were like, dude, you need to get into like teaching. Like, you're a good teacher. I think you can explain stuff well. There's not a lot of this on YouTube. I watched some stuff, but there's not a ton. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't even watch YouTube at the time. Like, stayed out of all that. And I started watching it and stuff. I think Cornell over at YouTube Fishing Vids was like, old videos of his. He had probably been doing it a couple years. And I'm like, yeah, it might be fun. And I never like thought I would start out teaching people and having a channel where, people would come to me and ask questions and stuff. Like, I never thought it would be that way. I was just going to kind of capture my experiences and share it with people and see, is it fun, is it not? I don't know. And then it just kind of started steamrolling from there, and here we are.
And we're now looking at what is basically a studio behind you.
I know. It's I've got a couple rods and reels and stuff.
We got lights, we got stuff, we got tackle,
some stuff and things.
So here's my question for you on that note. So obviously with a YouTube channel, with any social media, as you like grow over time and people start following you, all that, when did it occur to you that like this was going to be much bigger than maybe you initially expected? Because like at first you're saying, I didn't come into this to like necessarily try to teach people or anything like that, but obviously at some point you're at like 92,000 subs right now, so it's been rolling. When did that really pick up for you?
Well, I remember starting out, I don't even remember if it was, I think 2,000 was my goal. If I could have 2,000 subscribers in 2 years, like that's doing pretty good. I could be rolling pretty well. And like I demolished that. And I think by the end of the first year, I actually had a bet with the guy that I worked with. Because when I started, I had a bunch of people give me crap about it, making fun of me. And that's actually why I don't know if I've ever told anybody. I was going to save it for an episode of mine, but here we go. People always ask me why I say fishing. They're like, is this guy stupid? Yeah. Does he not know how to pronounce fishing? I do. I'm not an English major. I do have a 4-year degree. But fishing was actually, I had a couple guys that were like ripping on me at work, and a couple people that I thought were pretty close friends. Saying, oh yeah, you should start a fishing channel, you'll be fishing, and just always give me crap. So I just adopted it, and I'm like, I'm just gonna run with this. I'm just gonna call people.
I love it.
You went full Eminem, which I love. But hold on a minute. Of all the people to make fun of, you picked the 6'1" guy who does MMA. That's the guy you picked to make fun of at work.
Listen.
Yeah, and some of the people knew me through my MMA days and stuff. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's just one of the things. I don't think they meant anything by it.
Hello, person who could snap my neck. I'm gonna proceed to legit make fun of you. What?
Literal suicide. Just guys being dudes.
Dude.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah. And I ran with it. So
we got our first super chat of the afternoon, boys. So cheers
to
Monster Bass for dropping $4.99.
Yo! From the boys.
Wait, is that insider trading? I don't know. Is there something I should be worried about here? Monster Bass, thanks guys.
That's hilarious.
Shaz, no, don't talk about that here. All right.
So here's a question that kind of relates. So I'm like you. I very much I deleted my Facebook like years and years and years ago. Still don't have one. Don't want one. I deleted it like a couple of years, like 1 year out. I had it when I was in school because it was very much like, how do you go to get to parties? Like, oh, I'll just go on Facebook and I'll find out where that was like the thing. And it was new when we were in school. Like it was new. It was like not it was not 1,000th of what it is now. And I deleted it like 2 years or a year out of school. Still don't have one, but like it bothers me. Like I don't like it, and I don't really like Instagram. I like the fact that you can connect and talk with people. That's cool. Like I don't really like getting on Instagram. So the question I have for you is, knowing that, if you had to kind of like go through and be like, what platforms top to bottom, like which ones do I enjoy? Like YouTube being one of them, obviously, right? Which ones do you enjoy being on, and which ones do you despise being on? Because
there's 10,000 now.
Well, I mean, yeah. I want to hear your answer first.
I'm old school, so I mean, I've only got Instagram, Facebook, and I was going to say MySpace, YouTube.
Yes.
I still got my MySpace. Though.
You guys can still find me on MySpace.
I got the best music clip you can have.
It's from Friday, the motion picture.
Yeah. But I don't do any of the other stuff. I honestly don't even get on Facebook. I've got it turned off. Like you said, the only good part about Facebook is a lot of companies, that's the only way they advertise. That's the only way they sell. Like I used to do 3D bow shoots. I mean, I still do, but I used to, before I found the site, like a lot of the local places only did on Facebook. So you could never figure out when the shoot was going on. So it's helped that way, but I don't again, I hate negativity. I hate all the crap that's out there. Even on Instagram sometimes, Instagram to me isn't as bad because I usually don't ever get negative stuff on my posts. It's just, nice stuff, and it's not people as much sharing as, opinions and stuff. To me, like Facebook is the close people that and it's just like, I don't know, all the local crap, and yeah, I don't
downward cesspool of insanity and hatred.
Yeah, it is. I don't
good.
understand the amount of negativity.
Dude,
online.
even
It's
my
crazy.
neighborhood group is like a joke.
Oh, those are some of the worst though. The local neighborhood, man.
My wife will be like, blah 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 blah. Someone's upset about something really dumb. I'm like, cool. I'm glad that I didn't have to know that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
You didn't clean the sidewalk edge enough.
Bro, them's fighting words, my guy.
I know it's not you, Paul, of course.
Yeah. Spotless.
See, chat's calling out the pager. So like I know Paul would rock a pager if he could. DEBO, did you have a pager?
No.
That was before your time?
You were like 5 years removed.
I remember guys that had it.
It's like 80s.
I thought it was kind of dumb. Like I'm like, so you're telling me guys people can call you and like leave you a message? I'm like, if I just will go over to your house.
No messages. You just get a beep that says someone called
to call me.
Then you go call them.
Yeah, call them from your home phone.
It's like the worst form of text messaging.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. So, like, I will say when it comes to like content creation, like you can make even within like YouTube or within Instagram or within whatever, you can make a lot of different kind of content, right? Like you can make like short videos, you can make informational, you can make dumb crap that people want to watch, like, and that's not to say that like that's dumb, like it is bringing people in and people like to see it. So what, like, kind of tell people like the content that you put on your channel, and then on top of that, you can kind of watch the trajectory of your channel go from where it is today, and like obviously like the bait customization has like really become a big part of it. So like what's the content that you enjoy creating?
Yeah, I've always been a gear nerd, so like a lot of my gear when I first started upgrading was, hand-me-downs from my old man and stuff. And it was like a lot of good stuff, he had some of the old school Shimano Bantams, and I didn't realize it at the time, but like those were legit reels, Yeah. And old Quantum stuff, like Quantum used to be, one of the top companies back in the day. So I remember like when I started going through, I had one of the old mean green Corrados that I ended up selling like for $50.
Oh,
which I shot myself in the foot because now they go for what, $250 or whatever.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff, it was fun to upgrade because I all my stuff was old. So kind of jumping into that, the stuff hadn't changed that much, but at the price point, instead of paying, $200 for a good reel, like to me, the $100 price point now is kind of the spot where it tips over. You get into the aluminum frames and stuff. So like I geek out over all that stuff. I love gear reviews, lure reviews. I love to try everything under the sun. How-tos, try to help people. I'm not a pro. I always tell people I'm not a pro, but I'll tell you what I know if it helps you. And kind of from like my MMA days, one thing I learned early on is you're never going to be the best. You're never going to be the worst. And everybody in between has something to teach you. So even if some new dude that comes off the street, like you're saying, you can't overestimate anybody. Like that dude, low key may be, the one thing he knows is arm locks. That's it. He trained at a gym and he was an arm lock specialist, but I can knock him out all day or I can take him down all day. But there's this one arm lock that I can never stop. So just being a sponge when it comes to information. I try to throw out everything I can. If people like it, great. If they don't, nothing off my back. There's a ton of great fishing channels out there. So
absolutely. So I want to do a bonus question on top of these, maybe 2 bonus questions that I just thought of on the spot. So first of all, what was the best video in your opinion that you made, and what was the worst video in your opinion that you made? But they have to still be on your channel so people can go stalk you and find them.
God, I don't even know. My best one, probably like my most successful was how to use a Baitcaster. That one blew me away, and that was one of the first ones that was like, damn, maybe this could be a deal, because like I just tried to put my spin on how to use a Baitcaster, because you at the time you would see so much like junk stuff out there, like here's a bait, and it was like all blurry and out of focus, and you couldn't tell what the hell they were doing. And it's like, I've used a Baitcaster since I was like 8, 9, whatever, my old man taught me. So I just tried to put my spin on it, the way that I thought would help people, and then that one just blew up. I couldn't believe, like, it just kept going and going and going, like my first viral video. And that one really opened my eyes. My worst one, I don't know. Shoot, I've had a lot of worst ones. Yeah.
That's how everyone who makes videos feels. What was your least favorite? What's the one where you're like, man, I almost.
He's gonna be like, I hate all of them because I feel the same way. I like.
Well, I'm gonna spin this. So Jeff's gonna have to answer this question as well. So don't think you're alone.
Whoa.
My worst one. I don't know if I can think back to like that was the worst video I've ever done. I mean, early on, some of my early videos were just crap quality. Like for a year, I edited all my videos on a phone. All my GoPro footage I had to put on my phone, edited on my phone. It was only one line of editable data. It took forever. Rendering was awful. Like it was a grind. So a lot of those are just crap quality, and I'm not proud of it. But it's part of the curve, So
yeah, absolutely. So real quick, cheers out to Why Kid Wisco Fishing for a $9.99 super chat.
Yo,
thank you,
dude.
You guys gotta like throw some questions into those super chats or something. That's your chance to shine, to take over our show. But hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's awesome. Okay, so best. I think it's funny, like best and worst. I'll just say my worst real quick. This is like the first. I think it's still on my channel. I thought about deleting it. It's like the first unboxing I did, and it was like in this corner of my office with no lighting and no microphone on a GoPro 3. It was a Hero 3 Plus, and I started the video be like, so I guess I do unboxings now, and I just like opened this box. I was like, let's see what's inside. And in my second video, I was fishing on the Grand River, and I was like, yeah, so fishing's easy. And I cast out, and I caught a pike on a spinner on my first cast. I was like, well, I guess I do fishing videos now. Yeah, we have intros now. We do things.
But see, that's the thing. So many people don't get into the YouTube thing because they're so afraid of being judged. And like I was guilty of it at first too.
Sure.
But it's like me, it takes balls to put yourself out there and put a video that anybody can watch. That's the part that people don't understand until you try to put them in front of a camera and they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm not gonna, oh, okay, yeah, now you see what the real deal is. But everybody has it. Like that's the thing. Everybody has those old crap videos. So
yeah, it's scary to put yourself out there, but you also get that sense of like imposter syndrome, which Paul and I talk about all the time. Where it's like, I don't have any business talking about fishing on
100%.
the internet. I'm like, there are many other great people to go listen to. Don't listen to me. But then I'm like, but this is also fun, and I love meeting all these people, and the community is amazing. And case in point, Ray Beeman, $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. I love it. So yeah, it's definitely, like, to your point, very scary to put yourself out there. But at the same time, you're like, do I even belong here? That's the scariest thing for me.
I thought the same thing too, yeah, for a long time. But it's like, once you get on and you see, even reading like some of the, reviews or like things you'll see out there, you realize how little like so many people know about fishing. And I think that's, I think you're the same way from watching your stuff. We kind of stay in our lane. We're not out here trying to tell people how to tournament fish and, okay, I'm going to tell you guys how to win a tournament. And they comment below, DEBO, how many tournaments have you fished in? Well, I've only fished in one. So
not important.
Yeah. So I think that's a big part of it too, is getting that background of, okay, listen, here's what I did. I grew up fishing tons of small lakes, small ponds. I'm going to tell you how I do it, go from there. So
love it. I love that. Very important. So slight deviation tangent, very important question. What was the meanest comment you've ever received on a video? Because I think I heard on your Alex Rudd, you mentioned one. I don't know if that's the one, but like, what was the meanest?
Alex Rudd, I don't remember what I said on his. What was it?
I'll recall. If you say it, I'll remember it. But
I've had a ton of stuff, man.
Yeah, I don't think you said specifically what it was. I think you said I did this video. I got a lot of heat for it. It was like a recent video you did.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't necessarily a bad one. Yeah, that was probably one of the first videos I took a decent amount of heat. It was the best and worst lures of 2019. Yeah, and it's just like one of the biggest ones was the Mega Bass Dark Sleeper. I'm like, and I prefaced everything with, I'm not saying this lure is junk. I'm just saying for how I use it, bank fishing, like it sucked for me. I bought like 4 of them. I lost 3 of them, I think, or 2 of them, right away. Like, I don't like it. And people are telling me, well, this channel uses them and they say they're awesome. Yes. So you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, and man, that's great, but I'm telling you my experience. So yeah, to me, that's not a big deal. That's just like, even when you get the brand people, like fishing is very brand loyal.
Oh, so, for sure.
You find a brand that you like and people will diss other brands without ever using them. Just because they're, this person. I talked about this on Rudd's podcast. is, I'm a Shimano guy. Like, I honestly never bought a Shimano reel for the longest time, just because you hear so many like pretentious guys be like, well, I'm a Shimano guy. Why are you using that? So you just kind of have to put that aside. And I use, everything now. And it's no lie, Shimano makes amazing reels, but, people fall into that, they have this sense of belonging or this sense of loyalty, going with a brand. So mean comments. Let's see. I had people ask if I had a fake beard because it looked like, I don't know if I can cuss here, SHIT.
Let it rip.
People all the time ask if I'm high, and that's something I've got ever since I was in school.
What did they ask?
They ask if I'm high because I have like squinty eyes. Like my eyes aren't really like wide. So yeah, so everybody.
I literally walk around taking 1% of the sunlight available.
Yeah, they call me Dope DEBO because they think I was always on dope.
No.
Dope Devin at the time. No.
Wow. What? Where? Oh, Joshua Kuntz. Hey.
Dude, showing up big.
Super chat. Come on, guy. That's awesome. He asked a question. Oh my gosh.
Was that the soybean reel question?
But wait, did we say the worst comment? Because I want to wrap this one up, and then we'll go to that. So do you have?
I'm trying to think. People said my voice isn't man enough to have a fishing channel.
What?
Whatever that means. I guess I have kind of a girly voice.
No, you have. First of all, I want everybody to know right here, DEBO has sultry tones, and that's specifically what you need for a great channel.
Means. Solid back bass for sure.
Don't even ask. You don't need to know what it means. You
got it. What else? Are you high? Fake beard, girly voice. And people ripping on the way you cast. Like, so I grew up old school with, like, there was no left-handed reels ever. Like, you couldn't find them. When I first started. So my old man had all right-handed reels. So I'll cast right-handed and I'll reel left-handed. And people are like, you're an idiot. You want to fight your fish with the right arm because it's stronger. I'm like, well, actually, I'm a southpaw. I'm a lefty. So my left hand is a lot stronger and my left arm is stronger. And then you go into it and then like you just realize like, come on, man. People don't even know. So I've had, you've probably had the same, everything under the sun, but it's internet trolls. Those people wouldn't say it to your face. It's just, it's a thing. People can be tough online. So I just smile and go with it. Yeah. Fishing. Perfect example.
Love it. Paul and I spar at times. I'm like, Paul, say something mean. And then he says something mean to me and I try not to cry and I just say, okay. I just roll on.
My job is fantastic.
Paul, berate me quickly. All right. So Joshua Kuntz, again, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. And oh my gosh. All right. Well, we're going to ask Josh's question in a second. Real quick, shout out to Hookshank Hewitt. Heck yeah, man. For 10 boneses.
I'll double that.
Good grief, you guys are awesome tonight. I love this. Okay, so where are we at? Josh asked this question. What do you think about the soybean reel? What? The soybean reel?
I need to go find out what this is.
I guess I had to research that question. I'm going to research it. Paul, go to the next question. I'll find out.
Yeah, we need to look
you're
that
still
up.
Here. Josh,
tell us more, man.
All right. I'm in Iowa, so we could talk about soybean conversion rates when you go to the co-op.
Yo, we're gonna have to talk about that because you're speaking my language. So one of the questions that I'm sure you get all the time, but I want to know, when people see you fishing in your rig, you got this like, what is it, a 12-foot or a 10-foot aluminum?
11 jumbo.
Timbo, 11? Yeah.
Yep.
What about that rig has you in that rig, and why haven't you changed to something else?
One, I'm poor. Half poor, because I have 2 kids.
Been there.
No, okay. So honestly, I could probably afford a boat. The tough part is we only have a 2-car garage, so like trying to shuffle everything, like it's hard. So I can store the aluminum jumbo, outside in the back. I couldn't do that with a nice boat. I'd have to buy, a storage place. So that's kind of one thing that's keeping me off of it. But the other thing is, to me, an aluminum boat or a small boat, especially for beginners or the places that I fish, like a decently big lake around here is 1,000 acres. Like that's a pretty good sized lake. We've got the Mississippi, we've got, Rathbun, Red Rock, we've got some decently big spots, but most of the places around here that I grew up fishing are like 200 to under 1,000 acres. Like that's where I'm comfortable fishing, is lakes that size. So, people talk about going up to St. Clair or Okeechobee or, Lake Fork, these places that are just, insanely huge, man, that's out of my element. So an 11-foot John boat to me is a better option than a kayak.
Yes, no. You're fired. This was fun.
DEBO dropped. Oh
no. We're not the same on something. We're not.
No,
just had to
that's it.
So, and I get the kayak thing, and people have asked me, like, buy a kayak, get to the kayak thing, and it's like, I honestly can't justify spending that right now. If I found a kayak on the side of the road, and I could just pick it up, I would. But, an 11-foot John boat, I've got places where I can drag it in, I can carry it in. It's not that heavy. I can carry 10 rods on it and lay them down to me, next to me like a bass boat. Mm-hmm. I've got an electric motor on it. I'm not having to paddle around. Obviously, I could probably use it. So to me, that's kind of the deal. Is I can't justify it. I like kayak fishing. It intrigues me. If I didn't have a John boat, hands down, I would go buy one. They're affordable. I don't even know what a John boat like that would run now, but kayak's the way to go.
So if Old Town sent you a kayak that had him in Coda, you'd be like, "Sup, I drive this now."
Kayaks are stupid. I got a kayak. Let's go.
You're like, kayaks are still dumb.
Video.
Yeah, and then you would just blow it up on camera.
So.
That's awesome. There's a few people that are like, "What? He doesn't like kayaks?" DJ Raul's question. Okay, so I want to know if you fish with your daughters. From DJ Cool Raul. Sick name.
I do until they start fighting and throwing rocks at each other or in the water, and then it's time to clean up and go.
Do your girls ever just throw the fishing rod into the water? Because mine have.
They've never done that. No, like when they're in the fishing mode, they're in it, and for a good half hour, like they're in it. If we're catching stuff, it's beautiful. Like my daughter holds the fish. They're all about petting it and talking about it. Love it. And then that half hour wears out. And, they're fighting over the Pringles can, and then they're throwing rocks at each other and throwing rocks in. I'm like, damn it, we're going. Come on, get in the truck. And then it's a fight of who's sitting where in the truck. And
it's completely done. I love that you said that time frame, because that is the golden half hour. I have the same thing with either kid. It's like I get 30 minutes, and they're like, dude, we need to leave right now. That's awesome. Had another couple in here. So first of all, Mario Chavez wants to let you know.
Mario's a good guy.
Yeah, he says your voice is great.
Hey, thanks, Mario.
So we want you to know they're
Mario.
Sultry. There it is. I love it. Yeah. So I think we caught up on chat. You guys got cues. Hit us up with the cues in the chat. All right. Let us know what you got for DEBO, because we'll side rail our show for it, especially if you super chat.
And I will say, while people are thinking questions, I'm in the it's really hard to find scenarios when your kids are younger where they can be fishing and not only fishing. Because I feel like that's the key with kids, is like you want them to be like engaged enough where they're not like forgetting that they've done it, right? Mm-hmm. They're still like fishing, but then they have like other things to do. But then when they catch a fish, they can still enjoy the experience of fishing, because all you're really trying to do is get them like kind of pumped about the idea of fishing. It's not so much like catch 15 fish or like do X, Y, and Z. It's very much like fishing can be really fun. You leave them with that, and like that's it. You're just trying to plant the seed, I think, because to your point, like 30 minutes, 0.05 seconds, and like
is meltdown time.
It's over. It's not just over. It's like the day is like the whole day is ruined. Like they may not eat. And like I find that we have a place where we're on the water, and all we do with the kids like 99% of the time is throw a rod out with a worm and a bobber or on a drop shot, put a bell on it, go play frisbee, bell rings, catch fish, take picture, have fun, throw it back, repeat for days. And they, there's one of the kids, he's like, his mom texted me, he's like, Mikey's so into fishing, like, wants to do this. I'm like, made him a whole tackle box, gave him one of my old rods, like sent it over. And now like he goes on his own. And he didn't do that because I made him stare at the rod for hours. He did that because like catching a fish is fun. And he wanted to just do that again, but like on his own terms, which is a totally different thing than like wake up at 5 a.m. and come fishing with me.
Yeah, that's going to be a grind. Like I remember those days with my old man, like where we would go out middle of summer, it's like 98 degrees. And in fact, funny story, I like oftentimes in the middle of the day, I just get burnt. Like I loved getting up early, going fishing with them. him and his buddy Joe, like we'd always go with, and I love that. Like look forward to it. But damn, you get half a day in, and like I sucked fishing compared to them at the time. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. They were dragging worms and stuff. Piss, I couldn't do that. So like I'm tired, and I remember like one time I was sleeping in the bottom of the boat, and my dad's buddy Joe like had a, I don't know, spinnerbait or something, and was like dripping water on me, like messing with me. And I still remember that to this day. I woke up so pissed. But it's like, as a kid, you lose, focus on that stuff. So that's a good point, Paul, is if you can have, where they're doing something, like whether there's, like a campground or something where they have like the play set, they can go fish and go to the play set and come back, because they're like farts in a skillet. If they can go do that and then come back and catch a fish, oh, fishing's cool, I'm gonna go swing for a while. Oh, be flexible with them.
100%. That is hands down like the hardest lesson I had to learn after like trying really hard. Like, we're gonna fish, you're gonna catch something. And I was like, let's just make fun.
And it got so much. I'm gonna tie knots and you're gonna eat brownies.
Yeah.
That's what.
or I'd try and fish at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Or you're gonna play with the little container of worms for the whole time and not worry about fishing.
I'll be your worm dude. I got this. Shoot. All right, real quick. So we got 2 super chats I gotta catch up on. So Joshua Kuntz brings up that the soybean reel for a $1.99 super chat, by the way, cheers. Thank you, sir. Is sold on Amazon, and is it the Soul? I want to say Soldier Gang. Like, what is that thing?
Guy again.
Shu Yang.
No.
Good grief. All right.
Someone asked that to me or to DEBO?
Hit the group. Here we go, boys.
I have
favorite fishing app. Go.
All right. Well,
to find a spot.
Go ahead.
Google Maps, hand down.
Some people are saying that in chat. I concur. That's my preference as well. But I've tried the other one. Honestly, that's my preference. It's just easier because there are apps like FishBrain, Angler, all those. But I feel like they pinpoint spots that either are not geolocating correctly, and I'm like, that's a neighborhood. There's no pond there. And I have gone to spots that like list 150 catches on FishBrainer, for example, and I go there, I'm like, this is a private farm and there's no water. I was like, why am I here? What the heck? So
most people aren't going to give away their honey holes. So.
Exactly. And like out of just pure principle, Paul would never do that. So I don't use it because I know Paul would hate it.
Okay, I'm not going to get that. Good point. I will give an alternative. Google Maps is phenomenal when you really like getting into the details and you really like looking for your own spots. It's not great when you don't know what the hell you're doing. So I'm going to give you an alternative for somebody else. Powderhook. It is $0.00. It gives you depths. It gives you public versus private. And it very easily identifies water that you can get on and where the boat launch is. It's not going to give you every spot. It's not going to give you every square centimeter of awesome, go here, do this type of thing. It will tell you, it will help you find a place to fish on a lake that's nearby you very easily. It'll tell you how to get there. And it is $0. It's a great app. So that I feel like that's a good route for somebody who potentially doesn't really know what they're doing. Now, I will say when you pair Google Maps with something like nauticalcharts.com and you can really dial in the depth, there are more sophisticated ways to go. Google Maps is also great because your logging ability, like your ability to like save your pins is stupid good with it. It is period the best. There is not a more sophisticated way. I save my hunting spots in there. And it's like one of those things where I feel like if someone got a hold of that, like my login,
you would cry.
I'd be distraught.
You would cry.
I'd be distraught. I would legit have night sweats and I'd be like, can I change my password fast enough? But yeah, if you're looking for something easy, go look at Powderhook. There are other apps out there. Jeff was talking about like FishBrain and some of the other ones. I personally don't like any of those. I don't hate Angler, but that's got a different purpose. And I use Angler. Actually, have it on my phone. Powderhook to me is a really nice alternative for somebody who's maybe new and just wants to go find a spot to drop the boat in or whatever.
So go ahead, Eva.
Sorry, jump in real quick. Another good thing to add to that is just be careful on Google Maps. Make sure it's a public spot. So like here in Iowa, we have our DNR website is amazing. Like you were talking about, it's got every state public county lake. It's got all the map diagrams, so it shows you brush piles, in general location, brush piles, depth charts of, where the depths are dropping off. But man, just make sure you're doing it legal. Like, especially here in Iowa, or, I'm sure like Texas and places, man, people don't mess around. You can get slapped around or shot. Don't.
Yeah.
People don't mess around in Michigan either.
Yeah,
there's no place.
It's funny to like trespass and stuff, but yeah, just make sure you're on. Like the last thing you want to do is get arrested for, trespassing and stuff. So make sure it's
clickbait. Yes, worth it. No.
Yeah, and those dude. I'm gonna be honest. Every time I see one of those like, every time I see one of those like Instagrams or TikToks or wherever, where someone's like pissed off at the game warden. Dude, don't be that guy. That dude is absolutely your best friend. I don't even laugh at those. I can't. It's not possible. Those dudes are literally out there helping you be able to do what you're doing every single day. And I know I'm like getting Karen, but like that is like legit not funny to me. I don't think it's funny, even like 1%. And the other thing too, we did a whole episode actually on digital scouting. I highly recommend that people go check that out because we actually walked through some really nice detail on some of those options that you have. DNR website was absolutely one of the ones that we talked about, not just for the state of Michigan, but all over the place, stalking reports and all that awesome good stuff. So go check that episode out if you're curious about and want to know more about like what can be out there. And Google Maps was one of the options in there as well.
Be wise, folks. Be wise. Also, Paul, thanks for never telling me about Powderhook. I thought we were best friends. Also, thanks for ruining our potential sponsorship from Fishbrain.
You literally have 100 screenshots of Powderhook on your phone. You don't even know it.
That's also true. I don't even know it. So real quick, super chat shout out here. We got Chris Shue, our boy, every episode.
The homie.
The Schuster, you're fantastic.
Always coming through.
We also had a super chat for $4.99 from DJ Cool Raul. So thanks for coming back, bro. Cheers. And then Shue has a question. Yes. If you had 2 lures to give to your friend that will catch fish, what would you give them, DEBO?
Oh, that's tough. So are we talking like beginner or somebody who's fished a lot? Like that's kind
of. Let's say beginner because he's saying I'm giving this. I would imagine this is like
okay. So dude's like I want to fish.
Give him something. Fish. Yeah.
I would say a weightless Senko would be number 1. It's just an all around fish catcher. Wacky rig it, Texas rig it. I'd say Texas rig because of the weedless ability. Number 2, man, I'm kind of biased. And I'm probably going to take heat on it because they're not as popular anymore. But I'm going to say spinnerbait, man.
That's what I was going to say.
I love those options.
If it's a day where a spinnerbait's not, going to be good, I'd just say like a swim jig because it's like a finessier version of the spinner.
I love it. I love that. Hot tips. Real quick, DJ Cool Raul also alongside Super Chat donation did have a question. I don't know why his aren't showing up, but Chaz is seeing them. So is there any YouTuber you secretly watch to learn a new technique from?
I don't secretly watch anybody. If I don't know a technique, I'll openly admit it. I'm an open book. For example, I suck so bad with big swim baits, glide baits. Like, I don't know what the deal is. So people shared some tactical bass and stuff. I'm not too proud to admit that I've watched their stuff. I honestly don't watch YouTube very much just because of my schedule. Like, there's a ton of awesome people, and Rudd and I talked about this. Where people are all over you, like, hey, you haven't watched my last 5 videos. Like, what? Are we mad at each other? Are we not friends? Like, no, dude. I've got 2 kids. Yeah, I've got a full-time job. I'm trying to hustle. I'm trying to paint, So he made a great point of that. Of I'm just bad at keeping up on that stuff. I try to, but I'm never too proud. Like I said, learn from everyone. It might be somebody that I don't know very well. Bass Geek was another guy. I had him on my channel. I didn't know him at all, and he was talking about some ledge stuff. A buddy shared some of his ledge stuff, and like deep water fishing to me is scary. If people are like, let's go fish in 30 feet of water, I'm like, how about no? I'd rather go throw a frog and beat the banks and do that.
Yes.
Dude, you and Jeff are legit. Do you? What are your feelings
after
on
my own heart.
What are your feelings on the Ned rig?
Oh, I love the Ned rig.
Yes.
Do you love it more or less than both of your kids in your whole life? Because I'm just wondering. I'm wondering how it compares to Jeff's love of the Ned rig.
No.
That would only be frogging. Frogging is the only thing I would trade my wife for. I'm kidding, honey. I know she's not watching, so I can say that.
Seriously.
Seriously, though. I mean,
keep your wife a frog for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Tough call.
Nice, but
Have you seen a topwater blow up? Are you kidding me? All right. Anyways, so we had, oh my gosh, we had so many questions.
There's a floral question.
Yeah, we got to hit this one because Fish in the Southeast has asked this 10,000 times, and then we're going to go back to somewhat of the show meat. So what is your favorite floral line? And you're wearing a brand on your hat right now, so I don't know what you're going to say.
What do you think I'm going to say? I want to know your guesses.
The one on your hat would be my instantaneous guess.
It's one of them.
What about Berkeley?
Best, one of the best, I would say the best budget is Cigar Red Label, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want 100% good budget, $10 at Walmart, it can't be beat, in my opinion. Now, once you start getting into, different copolymers or like fluorocarbon coated or fluoride, like additives or whatever, so you get benefits of both, then it really starts branching out. I do like the P-line stuff. I've got I got a whole bunch of that on Tackle Warehouse when they had the buy one, get one.
Oh, nice.
Free or whatever. That's how I first got into it. So that. Otherwise, man, there's a bunch of good ones out there. I'm not going to touch on the Berkeley stuff. I mean, I've had maybe some of the other higher end stuff, but that was actually on my worst of 2019 was the Berkeley. What is it? Solutions.
Oh yeah.
Man. And I love Berkeley. Like I have nothing against them. That's what I told people. But dude, I had tons of snapping issues with it. Like I will never touch it again. So
that's interesting. What's your main use for floral? Because you were talking about, the type of water you fish. Mm-hmm. What's your main use for fluoro?
Like, so to me, fluoro is like the best all around. Like if I only had one to choose, minus topwater, like it's tough that way. But I fish fluoro almost on everything, and we've kind of got a gambit of different. I mean, we've got clear spots that are. I mean, you can see 10 feet down. Mm-hmm. We've got places that are completely muddy. We've got some places are full of grass. So like, I'm lucky, and I didn't know it. To have a bunch of this stuff, because a lot of guys I talk to only have one thing. Like, I've only got clear reservoirs that are 60 feet deep. What the hell am I doing? And I'm like, I don't know, move.
Good question.
Yeah. And some guys, like I only have chocolate milk to fish. So, like bass fishing in Iowa overall kind of sucks. Like, we don't have any trophy lakes minus the Mississippi, which obviously isn't a lake, but, we don't have any like big spots. They fish up in La Crosse, which is like 4 hours north of me, but we don't have any of the huge lakes, but we've got a decent amount of variety. So,
gotcha. Okay.
Oh, Yozuri Top Knot. Yozuri Top Knot was another, from what I remember, pretty cheap that I tested 2 years ago and liked.
Dude, Yozuri is like popping up all over the place, like consistently. Like every time I think I'm not gonna like what pops up, I'm like, I love this.
How did you feel about the knuckle bait?
Almost. I didn't say everything.
I never.
That was my first experience with Yozuri, and I was like, "Are you serious?" And then I got that what's the jerk bait? Gosh, what is it called? Anyways, the Crystal Flash minnow. So I got like that, and I was like, "This looks silly." And then I caught my PB pike on it, and now I like fishing it a lot. So never underestimate your opponent is what we've already talked about multiple times on this episode. All right, so
moral of the story.
Let's get back into that. Oh, that was a good question, actually. We'll hit this, and then Paul, you got to ask a question. We're going chat, Paul, kind of like that. Let's try it. So Dave Washburn, all-time 3 favorite reliable knots, fishing knots. Your go-to 3, I guess.
Go-to 3 or 4?
Go-to 3. That's 3.
It's got to be for each of us. What's everyone's go-to?
For all 3. Hey, thanks, bro. You want to run the show? You run the show. All right, so for all 3 of us, your favorite, most reliable go-to knot, 1 knot. So, DEBO, you go first. I know I should make Paul go second.
I took some heat on this one, too, because I think most people are a Palomar fan. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's the double Shindo. So, like, I saw it on a Gerald Swindle deal like 4 years ago. Yeah. And it's like essentially just a doubled over clinch knot, not an improved clinch. It's literally just double the line over, twist it 5, 6, 7 times, put it back through the hole and tighten it. Somebody else said Zona did a show on it. He calls it the shark knot, I think is what they said.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, but that's for sure hands down my favorite.
Isn't that a saltwater, like that's come out of saltwater? Yeah.
Saltwater fishing sucks in Iowa, so I couldn't tell you.
It's not ideal. I am pretty sure.
You get a little salt there, huh? All right.
I should. So I I went through a phase of like using a bunch of knots, and I realized like at some point like I am not fishing either complex enough. I'm not fishing for bass that are like gonna snap my knots like before they snap my line. I like a Palomar when I don't have a lot of rods in the boat and I don't know what I want to do and I'm flying through my Rolodex of baits to try and figure out what I want to fish. It certainly depends a little bit because I'm a big loop knot guy. I use loop knots whenever they can be used, like probably too far. So one of my favorite knots is a loop knot. It's one that I use it very often, but I just use a clinch knot like all the time. It's just like what I grew up doing. It's what I use. I have yet to have a problem with it, and people give me crap for it all the time. And sometimes I even use an improved clinch knot just out of habit. And dude, dude,
he catches so much.
I get lit up for it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's so funny. I was going to say Palomar because you know it's easy to tie with Ned rigs. Palomar. All right. So Joshua Kuntz asked a question as well. We got a $1.99 super chat. Pow. Waiting for Paul. There we go. All right. And then I swear we're getting back to the show me. I keep saying that, but you guys keep keeping us off of it. So what's the most reliable bait caster? Shots fired, pick one. It's just going. You guys are going for the juggler on this. I like it.
If you were to ask me, I'd say anything at $100 is a pretty good pick. I mean, you've got the SLX, you've got the LFS, you've got the Fuego, the Revo X. Even though I had a couple issues with it, I mean, it kept on ticking for being a frog and reel.
Yeah.
And the thing most people don't know is a lot of those are made all in the same factory anyway. Like people get bent out of shape of that. You know, if Shimano's got their own factory, Daiwa's got their own factory. I don't know if Okuma does. I think they were like a Taiwan deal at one time, and they had their own. But you know, like you're looking at Luz, Abu, Bass Pro. You know, all those are made in, I forget what it is, like Doyulang, whatever it is, the place in China, and then like Doyo is like the Korean factory of it. But you know, they're all made in the same place, so a lot of them are pretty comparable anyway. You know, if you look at parts inside, they're all like pretty much interchangeable. So a lot of that just boils down to preference.
I love that price point too. Like once I cracked into that, like my first couple bait casters were like $40-$50, which, you know, you go with something like the Abu Garcia Black Max and I'm like, that's okay. I can I learned on that and that's fine. But yeah, once you crack that $100 mark, man, things get crazy. I've had a lot of people, especially on my channel, hitting up the SLX XT as one of their favorites, which I mean, I personally haven't used it. Loved my SLX, loved my DC. I can't see why I wouldn't like the XT or the new MGL. Like any of those look pretty fantastic. For me, I would say because it leveled up my game and I've used it the most, I'm probably with the SLX. I just got the Okuma Serrano, which I like a lot, but I haven't used. So I can't speak to reliability because I haven't used it. I think it looks great. I've cast it about 25 times and I like how it feels. And then more than 25 times. We just flipped for like 3 hours in his CrossFit gym. We were just like flipping and pitching at cups for like 2-3 hours. But I worked up a sweat. Oh my gosh. All right, Paul, quick, reel. We got another one. Forget the show. Throw the show away.
You guys already cover it. You're good. And reliability to me, my SLX, 100%. I beat the hell out of it. I never take care of it. It's like a Remington 870. I pull it out. And that thing just works, so I don't know.
Forever and ever. Although I might overhaul mine. I just picked up some ceramic bearings and stuff. I don't know. We're going to try and break it or fix it or make it better. We'll see what happens. I'll probably screw it up. So JD3 Outdoorsman, $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. He asks, what reel would you put on a 7.3 heavy? Cheers. I don't know what you're fishing for, man, but go for it. 7.3 heavy. Choice reel. We're sticking with reels for now.
Yeah. No. We don't know what kind of bait you're throwing. We don't know what you're looking for. Info. You're saying a 7.3 heavy, so I'm assuming it's slightly. It's a 7.3. So
That's
it's not any longer. So that tells me it's roughly some kind of frogging setup, some kind of maybe heavy duty topwater setup. What do you think in that scenario?
I would go. So I'm guessing for 7.3 heavy, you're looking at probably heavier Texas rigs, jigs, depending on where you live, heavier chatterbaits, swim jigs. Like for me, rod power is more dictated by what I'm around. And then kind of the lure is the second deal. So, you know, a lot of things like you could fish a frog rod if you had, or a frog on, you know, a medium power rod if you had hooks that were thin enough. No problem. If you don't have anything around, it's open water. But like for me, a heavy is going to be I'm around more stuff. I'm around a lot of wood or a lot of grass where I've really got to have that power to get that fish out. I would say a 7.5 or like a mid 7 because you're probably throwing baits that you're moving with the rod, not the reel. So that's like my favorite because you can take up slack if you need to quick, but it's not so slow that, you know, you're going to miss those. It's not so fast that you don't have the, you know, the torque or the power, because the lower you go down into your gear ratios, the more torque or actually cranking power you're going to have. So that'd be my pick.
Okay, so like a 7 mid 7.5 gear ratio.
Depends on the brand. Right? Yeah, like Shimano would be a 7.2, Lew's is like a 7.5. I don't remember dial is.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think like just from what I have set up back here, I have an Abu Garcia Revo SX, and that is I think it's a 7.3 to 1. But anyways, that's my frogging setup. That's on a 7.3 Dobbins Fury Magnum heavy. Because heavy's not heavy enough. We fish a lot of slop. That is my slop rod. It's like, this is the junk. I'm going to just pitch this Booyah Pad Crasher back there and hope for the best. Let's go.
Dude, that's the best fishing.
Yeah,
so much
I love
fun.
it.
Says the frog guy.
Says the frog guy who would trade wife for frogging.
I'm not biased. That's my honest.
We didn't expect anything less.
I trade my wife, but I'm not biased.
All right, so let's get back to show me. Where were we? Question.
So no, I'm gonna skip a couple. I've got one though. So this is something that we've actually just gone through, and we're kind of on the other side of, and something that I know that you experience as well. There is, you know, when you're in the upper Midwest, like you get these, you know, changes in the season, obviously, but as you exit fall and hit winter, right? So there is like a tipping point where you're not really in fall anymore, and you're definitely not in winter, right? You don't have hard water yet. You might have ice around the edges. Do you, especially knowing that you've got boat access and, you know, sort of beach access, right? What is your fishing strategy? Like, are you shutting her down for like 2 weeks while you wait for the ice to come? What's your go-to fishing in that scenario? Because that I know for me that's tough. I know there's I'll just go hunting. But then I know there's a lot of other people who hit that and they're like, is it even worth it to go out, right? Do I hit the river? Do I go to my favorite pond? Like what's kind of your go-to at that, like that really short window right before ice?
Yeah, always go out. If in doubt, go out. Always go out. If you've got open water, go out. Like I was just out fishing with my buddy Randizzle, and so like when you're in that transition period, and I think a lot of it depends on you know, water temp. What's your actual water temp? But you know, once you start dipping down in the mid 50s and you start getting into the 40s, like winter's there. Winter's knocking on the door. So we were fishing it was like 35 degrees out that day. We still had open water. I think water temps were hovering just above 40, you know, 43, maybe 45 at most. But I caught one of my biggest fish of the year, is a 5-pounder, 5 1/4, something like that, on a micro jig. So, you know, you kind of hear that thing where you can downsize or you can go big. But I think the biggest thing for cold water is, and it's so hard for all of us, is slow down. Like you've got to go painstakingly slow, you know, whether you're throwing a suspended jerk bait, which is great. You know, you're popping that twitch slower, you know, pop, and maybe even another pop and then leaving it, you know, for 20 seconds. And it just feels like you're wasting time. But, yeah, really having to slow down, look for warmer water. You know, certain parts of the lake, the shallower ends, shallower arms, a lot of those might have warmer water. Anything that's going to hold heat. So as the day warms up, rocks are going to hold heat, residual heat. So any like rocky points are going to be a good spot. Dock pilings like metal, once they heat up, they're going to hold heat longer. So if you can, find warmer water and go slow. Those are my big tips.
I love it. That's like, I can totally relate on that level because I've had some of my best fishing days in like February on open water, not ice, and like November, because I'll go out. I think the last open water bass of my year last year came in November. After that, all I caught was pike. And it was like November. It was like a 3.5 pounder, which to me made me more excited than anything. On my home lake, which I never catch any fish on. It's like that tough, overly pressured. Mostly, if they go there, they're fishing live bait. Everybody keeps everything on there and eats everything, so it's like just it gets wrecked. And it's a city pond, and a city technically a lake. It's just really small. So there's tons of people out there. But catching a 3.5 on there just. That was a moment. That was good. That was like freezing cold, 14-mile-an-hour winds, sleet face, mid-November. I was pumped. So I love that. You definitely have that opportunity in those colder times for sure. Cool. Did I have another? I had some. Oh, any of you guys use 6-gill gear? I have a rod of theirs. I've used their reels. Wasn't a fan. Neat. Who's your fat bass? And there's your answer. Next.
So I want to do another one. I wanted to touch on the custom baits thing because I think that's something that you put a lot of content and like obviously time into, but it's obviously something that you enjoy. So kind of how did you get started with that? And I know we're getting long on the episode here, but I don't care. How did you get into that? And then sort of like where is it taking you? Right? Like what's the trajectory?
Which real quick, if you guys don't follow DEBO on Instagram, go do that because that's seeing those visuals. These baits are sick.
Fishing graffiti. It is its own art. It's so cool.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Like, so I'm not an artsy guy. I can draw you a stick figure, and I have zero artistic talent. So like with airbrushing, watching some of the marling bait stuff. Jen Cravassi over at Jekyll Baits, like I happened to go on that rabbit hole one night. You know how that goes. I was watching Mexican street food videos where a guy tours street food stuff, and then I happen on that and go down this whole bait painting thing for another hour. You know how those go. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, damn, that would be great because I didn't start ice fishing hard again until a couple years ago. My old man got me into it again, and he's diehard ice fishing, but. Yeah. Dude, I hate cold. Like that's why I stopped deer hunting. That's why I hate being cold. I absolutely hate it. So I was like, dude, I could paint baits during the winter. Like that would be fun. It's still fishing related. I could still be sane. And I mean, I've only been doing it a little over a year, and yeah, I mean, it just kind of took off from there. Like you said, the artistic side of it it's fun just to create. Like you can put all these different colors together. It's like walking through Bass Pro Shops and be like, oh, this is a cool color. I wish it had this, this, and this. Oh, damn, I can actually make that now, So it's just a creative, fun outlet. I didn't think it would go anywhere. And, kind of like we said, I got a bunch of likes on some stuff and kept doing it, man.
Yeah. What are some of the, like, first of all, where do you do it in your house? 2, what are some of the tools that you're using? You talked about airbrushing, but what are some of the other tools that you're using? Because, dude, when I look at some of those dots, like, specifically like spots that you do on some of those baits, I'm legit in my mind, like I can see some of the other stuff and like I can see the shading. Like I painted a Lumina boat, I know how this goes, but like when I look at some of the stuff that's in there, I'm like, dude, I do not legit have no idea how that happened.
By hand, man. They have like little dotting tools, and it's funny because my daughter is like huge artist. Like she's a million times better at drawing stuff than me. Like I can't believe it. So I think she's going to have a good background in something art, but it's like a little dotting tool set, and it literally looks like, I don't even know what you'd say, like a ballpoint pen. It looks like different ends of a ballpoint pen on these little tools. And my daughter's always intrigued when I'm painting. I paint in my basement. On the other side, I built myself a whole ventilation deal that I run out my window and stuff.
Nice. That's why you don't have a boat.
Yeah, that's why I don't have a boat. I'm buying lures and painting stuff. But it's funny because she walked in and she's like, oh, hey, you've got those dotting tools. Those are great for acrylic paints and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but my daughter knows these dotting tools. Like I feel like a #girl dad right now. So
yes.
But yeah, a lot of it's just hand done. Like those dots, you have to put each one on by hand. Like, if you want to do it. And for some people that's, too painstaking. Some guys like, only doing it with the airbrush. I do a lot of that too, but it's kind of that artistic fun side. See what you can do and push yourself.
I love it. We've tried making baits and they look Terrible.
Yeah, I'll get you guys some. You'll have to let me know what you want. I'll get you some.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to fish.
See,
Purple
purple and fuchsia are the underused colors. That's my favorite river color. Period. It's not
Purple
close.
and chartreuse. I'll hook you up. That's down low. One of my favorites. Purple chartreuse, man.
We were
People
just
don't talk about it enough.
Oh, dude, I don't want people to talk about it. I loved it. I mean, we were talking to some of the folks that we end up getting to talk to because of this podcast we're fortunate enough to do, and one of the questions was like, hey, what color, blah blah blah, and I was like, it's not close. When I'm in the river, purple smashes smallmouth. It's like, and I'm not even a color like I'm not a color truther. I actually don't really. I would prioritize many other things before I would be like messing with color. I actually go.
Really?
No, I go, and we're in Metro Detroit, so like all the walleye guys, like the color's the first thing they mess with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much size, profile, is an action are like the two things that I get to first. Then I'll start messing around with color, and like yes, light, dark, no question, but that's where I start, and then I start getting dialed in on color later. Like and I understand that light and dark that's a totally different story, but purple. I do a lot of fly tying, and so I'll tell you right now, I can run the exact same rig in the exact same spot in purple versus like a black, and it is unquestioned. There's a massive difference. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason that I would ever dip a toe into the color truthing, where like that shades would make a difference. Purple / fuchsia. I'm always looking for that, and it's not around. Like, it's hilarious how much it gets no play. You walk to Dick's Sporting Goods, you can't find it.
But if you go to Rabid Baits, we worked with them on this color. We're like, you have to make a purple, and Rabid made it
with black.
Yeah, it's a purple like black flake, and then the purple or it's like it is almost fuchsia. Like the fur that they use for it is just hyper bright. And it looks so good. It's like one of my favorite colors of all time. But yeah, like purple and then chartreuse. Chartreuse slams in the Grand too. Like case in point, our Z-Man Ned rig, the Copper Truce. We call it the Chartreuse. It is like hands down best.
The Chartreuse is
the Chartreuse performs.
That's never a good deal if you have the shark before the deuce. Bad news.
Unless you want big smallmouth. But all right, so we had Chris Shue. Super chat.
Oh,
Five bones, big man.
The guy.
I think he's asking for his outro. He's like, I got a bail or something. He says, outro, love you guys, your vids, and wish the best for you and your families. Your bright spot. My bright spot's having DEBO on this show because
hey, thanks, man.
I mean, for real, I was watching you before I had a channel. So just to get you on the channel in all seriousness, phenomenal. I'm pumped right now.
I'm honored to be on, man. That's the cool thing is like the fishing is kind of a double-edged sword because like you get some guys out there that are asses, and it's like it's like that in anything of like for example, I was at the boat ramp the other day. Well, it's obviously been months ago now, but some guy was laughing at me. I forget what he said. I told the story, but he was laughing at me because I was launching my aluminum boat. I think he said, "Oh, when are you going to grow up to a real boat or something like that?" And was laughing at me as he's launching his Z20 whatever the hell those are, Ranger Nitro. And I just chuckled. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm like, I wouldn't know how to back one of those in, just like, whatever, dude. If you're going to say that, like, you're not worth my time. And then you get the guys, like you or other people that I've met just like literally through Instagram, people that I have no idea. And, you start to know them and you become friends and you go fishing. Like, that's what it's about, man. That's the cool part.
100%, man. That's one of our big 2021 goals this year was to connect with a lot more awesome people because we know there's tons of amazing creators on here. So we kicked it off with you.
Dude, I appreciate that. I'm honored to be on, man. Yeah. Just a guy like you who loves to fish.
And we talked to Rudd last week. We're like, let's get this going.
He's a super nice guy. Super.
Oh yeah, for sure. We were lucky enough to meet him when we started up with Monster Bass. So yeah, it's been awesome connecting with him since for sure. All right, so yeah.
Can we speed round?
Speed round? Yeah. Well, I had one more. There's one thing I want to throw. Okay, here it is at the bottom. And then we'll do speed round. Okay. So DEBO, what do you say to this is a suggestion from a subscriber, by the way. His username is nodelay69, and he always just types in 69 when he starts in the chat. So yeah, solid. Anyways, he wanted me to ask you if you would do a subscription box bank angling tournament, UV us.
I don't know what that means. So
it means you use whatever comes in this box. So you've been doing beginner boxes from MTB, right? On your channel?
I just bought a bunch when they had them on
or
sale.
it's like a Carl's Bait and Tackle. Anyways.
Yeah, whatever they have over there.
So it's like if you got a subscription box, in this case, let's say a monster bass, and you only had whatever baits were inside of said box, and that's, you just go for the slam, right? We do like a little virtual throwdown. You go fish, we go fish.
As long as there's no foldable chairs involved, I'm down.
I mean, Paul always has his foldable chair.
He doesn't bring a backpack. He just has a foldable chair strapped to his back.
What else would I need?
Fishing rod and reel. Maybe
nobody would mess with the dude with the foldable chair on his back.
No, bro, you stand extremely still and you let your chi bring him in, and then you
just folding chair all the bass. Paul has 9 bass. I have 0. It's gonna be great. Anyways, I thought he's just trying to throw a challenge on the table. But hey, aside from that, we should definitely collaborate at some point. I would love to fish with you.
I'm down, dude. Yeah, so. I don't know how far we'll have to talk about that, but I want to try to travel and fish more. Just with the COVID and everything, it makes it really tough. So especially with my wife at the hospital and.
Yeah, we got the same thing. I've got one with a baby on the way, so we feel you. But someday we'll get there, and I'll tell you right now. Down. Between Jeff and I, we got enough plastic boats. We can hook you up.
I mean, there's
we have a spare. It is a sit inside red, white, and blue. It's 12 feet.
Does it have a mint coat on it?
It has a U coat on it.
I'll bring my aluminum kayak.
I love it.
Fair enough.
I saw you called it that, and literally like that, you jumped into an upper echelon with me. Once I heard you say the aluminum kayak, I was like, this guy gets it.
The Hobie is just so much bigger and wider still than that thing, which is baffling to me. All right, we'll figure it out, or we'll just be anglers, man. I'll fish from the bank. Down. We'll go back to the roots. I love it. All right, so speed round.
Can we speed round? All right, so this is the take us out. This is it doesn't have to be extremely quick, but it can't be slow. That's my only objection.
I'm down.
So I'm gonna ask. There's only a handful, nothing difficult. First thing that pops in your head. So question number 1. Wow, perfect.
Is that it?
You nailed. I think we're actually done.
Wait. Did you say pizza?
Pizza.
To the first question.
We're actually we're gonna get into some food. So first thing.
It'll make sense.
Do you always catch and release, or are you a catch and keep guy?
Primarily catch and release, but I am not against catching and keeping as long as you're doing within rules and it's a place that is good for it. There's some places, there's some guys that will catch every single damn thing that they keep, and it's heartbreaking because I was at one of my local spots that has been fire for a long time until last year, and there was literally guys keeping buckets of fish, and it's like you can call the DNR on them, but half the time they're not even come out, unless it's something big like. So yeah, I mean, as long as it's a spot like we went after bluegill, perch, yeah, man, keep within limit and don't mess around with any of that stuff. Absolutely, fish are great eating.
Love it. So then follow up question: what's your favorite to keep?
Man, there was a lake we could catch yellow bass on, and my dad would bring home yellow bass that were delicious.
Whoa! What'd you do with them though? Was it a fry or was it a sandwich?
Fry. Yep. But lately, like around here for me, it's like bluegill is my favorite, just because there's so much of it.
Yep.
So
they're hard to ruin and they're good.
Dude, I experimented with bluegill in the air fryer, and maybe I'm sounding like one of those pretentious air fryer guys. Dude,
it's easy.
My old lady got one, and I was so against it because I hate unitaskers and I hate crap in the kitchen. And she's like, "It'll be awesome." I'm kind of in love with it because it's so much faster than the oven and it's healthy. You don't have to worry about frying stuff. So
we just posted a little video. I made bluegill omelet for Jeff a couple of days ago.
That's wacky. I've never even thought of doing that.
It's my game, dude. People never do it, and I don't bread them. I don't.
I saw that. Yeah,
they're so good. But yeah, you know how many people came back at me with the air fryer, and I was like, I get it. I don't have one, but the concept is not repulsive. I understand this. This makes sense. It's calculating. Follow-up question. Favorite, we call them boat snacks. What snacks are in the boat?
That's tough. Recently sardines, because I'm trying to lose some of the dad bod. I'm a huge sardine fan.
With mustard, dill, straight up. What are we? Because you got options.
You can. My favorite used to be a Mediterranean mix. They don't make it anymore. It had like olives and stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it was so good. But like, you can never go wrong with hot sauce. Sardines and hot sauce.
My guy.
Otherwise, like just some sort of bar, like a Cliff Bar or anything like that, just because they're easy.
Mm-hmm.
Pop them open.
No doubt.
Trail mix. Trail mix is another one for sure. Trail mix.
Oh yeah, good one.
You're checking boxes.
Paul shares his with mine, and then I just throw it in the water when I'm done. There's a time I tried to toss it to him, and it legit fell upside down into the hull of the boat and just got soaked. And he tried to keep eating it. I was like, bro, you realize that this water is not good for you.
You also realize that I'm a trash monster, and I'll eat anything.
He's got a compactor in his belly. Facts.
Pre-COVID, we used to do a lot of traveling, right? Longer distance driving. Gas station sustenance is absolutely a thing. All factors considered, price, bathroom, food, locations, etc. What's your favorite gas station?
Casey's for sure. I don't know if you guys have them or not.
We don't.
You asked a question that was region specific.
Yeah, but Jaws is over here. He gets it.
Because he's down there.
Oh, dude, Casey's Pizza. Casey's breakfast pizza before COVID. Oh, man.
So, see,
it's a thing of wonder.
We got to travel.
The next time we're out, I'm going to go to a Casey's and be like, oh, what should I get? No, I know. Breakfast pizza.
We learned. Like, biscuits and gravy are my favorite, and sometimes they'll have the biscuits and gravy one, which has, like, it's literally just biscuits and gravy sauce on a pizza. Oh, son. And I think they put cheese on it.
We have, is it peppered gravy, or is it just straight up?
Oh, it's peppered. It's not straight red-eye gravy. Slight bit of pepper with a little bit of melty cheese on top. Oh, man.
See, now every time I go to Casey's, I'm going to be eyeballing it. All right, next one. The most critical piece of filming equipment.
GoPro, without a doubt.
So what is this was another one. So I had this one up, but I took it out. So then obviously you need a camera. What was your biggest game changer outside of like the GoPro? Like what accessory did you get that like made filming life a lot easier?
Tripod.
Yeah.
Shockingly critical.
Completely underrated.
You don't realize how stacking Rubbermaid containers with a tipped up phone on books is janky and sketchy. Yeah, you get a tripod, man, it's like, damn, I can change the angle and height. Like this is some luxury stuff.
Because I would argue without the tripod, the game changer was like the stabilizers in the GoPro Hero 8 and 9, because then you get the selfie cam is no longer like, hey guys, we're on the water today.
And I'm on a trampoline.
Literally just breathing right now.
So what is an area of fishing that you want to learn more about?
Deep fishing. Ledges, deep humps, deep cranking, deep swim baits, anything fishing, like offshore, I guess would be the correct answer. Offshore fishing. Not comfortable with it.
Love it. Last one. What are you looking forward to most after ice out?
Casting a big pole.
How like, are we talking length or girth?
Well, that depends on who you're with. Some people prefer a longer bait casting rod. I'm talking about bait casting rods.
Whoa,
what are y'all thinking here?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just getting the big sticks out. Like, ice fishing just doesn't cut it. It's fun, but like, I just love throwing and casting. With ice fishing, you're just jigging. So yeah, just getting out on open water and casting.
So, dude, I am your guys' bizarro, because not that I don't love bait casting, but I get jacked up about ice fishing. I find
a lot of people do. My man loves it.
I've always wanted to like try and catch it on camera, because it doesn't get the play that it deserves, and there's a lack of understanding about it. The whole concept of like drilling 1 trillion holes and like really getting dialed in and being super mobile, but at the same time being able to sit in the same spot, and then once you hit it, it's like an absolute jackpot. And it is so, to me, like staying on top of a school of of good sized gills, leaving with like 10 7.5 inchers and catching a bunch of 10s is like I get way unjustifiably jacked up about it. Like it's
fun. Yeah, it's no doubt when you get on them, it's fun. And like having a hut, talk about game changers. Hut is a freaking game changer. Like I remember my old man would take me out and I'd sit my butt on a bucket out in the freezing cold, and it was miserable. He'd be like, "Oh, this is fun. We're catching fish." I'm like, "I just want to go home."
Yeah, 100%. We just got a Frable Fortress, and we fished out it the first time this past weekend, and yeah, I agree. First of all, the first day we chose not to get into it until like 6 p.m. and it's like pitch black, and I was like, why didn't we just get in this earlier? But we were just trying to like get on them.
That's me, because I'm
gonna have to be in charge of hut time next time.
I'm very comfortable being uncomfortable when we're not on them. And like with gills, even on smaller bodies of water, especially on early ice, they're not in the same spot, and they're not in the same spot all day. And like I want to stay on them. So like I almost have a problem not being in the little like one person like cover, because we have to, we're filming, so we got a big 2-3 person, and it's fast. I mean, it's under that Frable Fortress. We'll try and do some filming of like me doing it. I can alone unpack it, unstrap it, and put it up in less than 1.5 to 2 minutes. Like that is
so sweet.
It's so quick, and taking it down is like maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute longer.
I saw you doing some Jeet Kune Do taking it down.
Oh, you saw that? That was good. Dude, I highly recommend people watch that. It doesn't get enough play. But there was like,
He's so mad about it.
I am mad about it.
Why aren't you watching this?
There's legit. I just get it. Like, I am a huge Dave Gens, like, kind of a fanatic, because I love the way that guy fishes. He fishes with purpose. He fishes with passion. He doesn't care about like any of the other stuff. He's kind of like whittled his life down to like very much so, like, not that I want to necessarily do this, but like I find myself like when you have kids, you're like, oh, I only have X amount of hours in a day. I have to delete X out of my life to make room for my family, but also make more room for the things that I want to do. And like that dude is like, he has gotten his whole life is like, I'm going to be really good at like 6 things. One of them is breathing. One of them is eating. And like, maybe my family's another one. The rest of it is like, I'm on these fish and I'm getting on them. That dude runs around in an ultralight, extra short track, like sled, right? Like a snowmobile. And he's got a rig just like the one Jeff and I have, because it doesn't weigh anything. And he literally has his transducer drops right off of his snowmobile into the hole he's drug. He literally unsheaths it, drills the hole, sheaths it back, drops the transducer. It's a Vexilar, so it's boom, it's on. He's like, nope. Drills 4 holes like you would like a 5 of rolling the dice, right? Goes in that square because he likes his spot. Moving on, and goes to the next one. He has a system, and like, dude, he will get on them. And then the second what is working no longer works, he tries 2 baits, 3 baits. If it doesn't work, they're not here. Moving on, and like that doesn't lend itself to a shelter, and so like I find myself with an auger and a bucket behind me, or my mini sled, and I'll walk, and I do not care. And like, I don't know, I think ice fishing doesn't get enough play. But
yeah, there's definitely something to be said about that, because like I've got an extra wide like single person, like the Jason Mitchell, and it's great because like I've got the the Strike Master deal, it's got the battery on it. Oh man, it zips through stuff. It's awesome, and you've got your bucket and your stuff. But like, yeah, my old man's just got the drill thing, the drill deal, and he can just boom. He's got his Vex, he's got a smaller. You can just be a lot more mobile, and it's like that kind of give and take. So,
oh yeah,
that was another game changer this year. Last year we were just out there like, all right, hole number 45,
kicking my own ass.
Dude, we ice fished the biggest lake in Michigan, and we were just like, we are the worst. And the funny thing about that trip was like we were walking, everybody else was in Jeeps, on 4-wheelers, on snowmobiles, because the ice was so thick.
We're going through like 10 inches of ice.
We're just like slushing out there, walking, dragging our sleds.
Dude, the important thing is you were out there though.
Yeah, exactly. People would
hit them crappie too.
They would just ask us, "Are you okay?"
You guys
were like, "Yeah, we're fine."
Usually lipless is my go-to.
Ooh.
Yeah. Lipless for sure.
I like that.
Oh, no one heard the question. The question was, what are you looking for? I was actually going to ask this. Chaz is on mute. The Chaz was asking us in silence, what do you look? What bait are you looking to throw once the ice is out? So, DEBO, I'm just about to call you, by the way.
Lipless. Yeah,
all
DEBO.
Right.
I called him DEBO all show, and now you're like, hey, is it okay we call you DEBO? It's been like 2 hours.
You're good.
Oh my gosh. All right. So yeah, looking for he wants to throw a lipless. That'll be the bait that you're looking to throw as soon as this ice is gone. Real quick wrap up questions, guys. If you got them, you got 5 seconds. We got Jack Crop. What's my what I want to throw?
Yeah.
You guys know. You guys know what's coming. It's a suspending jerkbait, but also Ned rigs. Ned rig has a specific time where it works really, really well, and then it has a lot of time where it doesn't work very often. So, like, there are specific times when it's river or lake fishing that I'm going to throw that, and immediately after the ice is not one of those times. I'd rather throw like a jerkbait or, I might throw some finesse jigs or something like that, but I'm not typically throwing just the naked Ned because I want that skirt on there. If I'm going to do that, I get more action on it. But it's like late March, almost all of April. Typically, I can get on them with this thing. It just always times out that way. So yeah, I love throwing it then. What about you, Paul?
Dude, it's not even close. It's jerkbait, and that is like it's my baby crankbait because I'm a crankbait guy. That's like what I always want to have in the water. But dude, I legit get pumped up just thinking about the last second before you get one in the boat and one just you barely get them by the tooth. I get, again, unreasonably excited about that.
Yeah. it's a really fun bait to fish, especially up here.
It is fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you find them stacked, because you can find them stacked then, early. You just...
Yeah,
it's like the anti like jig when you can jig them out of like one pile of rocks, dude. It's the cold version of that. Oh, so good.
All right, so I'm gonna grab one more question and then we're wrapping up. So let me choose here randomly. Let's go with I think it was DJ Cool Raul asks, and I'm calling you out because you're awesome and you did super chats today. You were asking what technique do you want to get better at this year? And I think you said deep water fishing. I don't know if that counts as technique, but maybe there's something else for you that matches up to that. Like, what do you want to get better at this year?
Yeah, it's kind of polar opposite of that. But if I could, I've got it. Deep water is kind of like my deal. But like technique wise, it's still going to be two things: big swim baits, like those glide baits. I threw them last year. I still can't catch crap on them, but it's like this huge cult following now. Is like you see these guys out with big swim baits, and it's like, the bigger the better. You only take that out and you're just grinding and you love it. And I don't love it. So I want to get into it because it does, like, it totally does draw fish. Like the days that I had it, like, man, I had some horses following that thing and I just couldn't get them to commit. So that and wake baits. Wake baits don't have a place really in my arsenal. So I gotta get on the wake thing. I don't really know where they fit in. So.
That was a weird one for me too, but I really love fishing them now because I've gotten a few good ones last year, and there's some freaking hogs, some dang pond hogs we pulled on those, which gets me amped up. I also want everybody to know that Chaz, aka CH_OZ, our man behind the curtain helping us run this entire show, our producer, he's over here fangirling right now because he is obsessed with swim baits. So when DEBO said that, he just like freaked out. I think he did a lap around his room, all sorts of stuff. Super pumped. Paul, what's yours?
Dude, swim baits is absolutely one of them. Like, and I want to get a rig that I can use for swim baits, that I can use for muskie, because we have a place in on Lake St. Clair in Canada. I was not able to go this year, and that would have been where I would have spent a lot of my time. And like I have some experience with like really big like flies, like pike flies, and I've really been wanting to use a lot of the same techniques that I use for those flies on some of those swim baits, but I really don't have like a good smattering of the baits, but I've been kind of collecting them, and what I want to get good at using them, the ones specifically I want to use are the ones that are slow sinking, that I find I can never dial the depth in, even though that's what they're made for. Like that's what I want to get good at, because I know that's sort of the idea, right? I just have never been able to make the bait do what I think it's supposed to be doing. And so that's one of the biggest things I want to work on. But I also want a rod that I can use for that and also for musky fishing, because with the kayaks, we are in like a perfect spot. I've trolled them out of the water before in that area. And I really, really, really want to do some more of that, especially because up in the Thames River, we have really easy access to it. And it's a phenomenal spot to go try and get giant pike and muskie. And I'd love to wear it my shoulder doing that.
Pike fishing doesn't get enough love, man.
Dude,
we say it all the time.
So much fun.
Jeff and I just filmed a really silly video that may never see airtime, and one of the things that we talked about was
members only section.
It's my favorite fish to catch, and it's really not close. I love bass. Will always love that. I love perch too. Doesn't matter. I get like unreasonably excited about catching pike every time. I do not get upset.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like my definite technique, swim baits, and then muskies. I want to get into. We had an amazing subscriber send us 2 awesome muskie baits that we still have to fish this year. So we got like the super meps, the gigantic one, and then we got a Mike the Pike. I don't know if you've seen that one from Weston. It's a legitimate pike, like a swim bait pike with it's got a lip on it too, so it dives like 1 to 3 meters.
So rad.
Yeah, it looks sick. Look it up when you get a second. But that I want to fish that thing really bad. I have 0 setups that can do that, so I have to like go get the setup. So we'll get into that this year for sure. But hey, brother, we kept you a super long time, and
no problem, man.
It's been a ton of fun. So again, thank you so much for being on.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anytime. And we would love to fish with you sometime. So maybe we can get a collaboration going in the future here. I think it'd be a ton of fun. But hey, if they don't know where to find you right now, I think they have a problem. But where can people find you?
DEBO's Fishing. Look it up on Instagram, YouTube. You can find me there.
We'll post some stuff so that people can. Yep, it's already up in chat. So
Chaz is telling us that he does our jobs better than we do our jobs. He's the man. He's the guy. All right. Awesome, man. Well, hey, thanks again for being on. You guys, thank you so much for being with us tonight. This has been an amazing live. Hopefully you had a great time as well. Of course, if you want to hang around and see some more, we do this every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast, and follow us at all those other social places at BurlyFishing. And we'll see you next time out on the water. Chaz, take us out.